All right, live from the Communication Center within Kenyatta University, you are just in time for the Friday edition of the Kutv Prime Time News on this 27th day of the month of March, the year being 2026. In parts of the world, it is the International Whiskey Day, and in others, it is the International Theatres Day. But here within KUTV, we've been up and about to compile for you reports on matters happening in the country and also beyond our borders. But first, a look at today's top stories. ODM party issues conditions to President William Ruto ahead of a possible alliance in 2027 as Linda Mwananchi movement claims the party has been compromised by the president.
I will not be the SC of mediocrity.
Mimi nitawanyorosha mbaya sana. Oh my goodness. Nitawazamisha mbaya sana. Tunaelewana?
President William Ruto launches a sharp attack on opposition leaders, accusing them of engaging in divisive politics and lacking a clear agenda.
It's true tuko meeting leo. We are not atuko kadi leo.
Students from the premier Kenyatta University join hands with the residents of Committee in Kiambu County in an environmental conservation tree planting exercise. Universities across the country urged to focus on research aimed at addressing real and pressing health challenges facing communities.
Place and work backwards, so that when we bring an innovation or a technology, we are fitting it to a segment of the market that will be interested.
Welcome to the broadcast. My name is Emmanuel Kutosi, and with me in the sign language interpretation is Mutava Mwongeli. Of course, we invite you to join the conversation on our social media channels at KUTV_Kenya on the X platform. And tell a friend, KUTV is live on KUTV News Kenya. Now let's get into it, where the Oburu Oginga-led ODM faction has issued tough conditions for President William Ruto and his UDA party during the special ODM delegates convention held at Jamhuri Stadium, where delegates unanimously elected and ratified Dr. Oburu Odinga as the party leader. The special delegates convention also saw Yala MP Winnie Odinga officially joining Oburu Odinga's camp, ditching Nairobi Senator Edwin Sifuna's ODM Linda Mwananchi faction.
Jamhuri Stadium was packed to capacity with delegates in orange colors ready to elect and ratify ODM leaders. Dr. Oburu Odinga was elected as the ODM party leader. Gladys Wanga was ratified as the national chairperson, while in Mombasa, Governor Abdulswamad Sharif Nasir and his counterpart Simba Arati of Kisii County were ratified to continue serving as Oburu's deputies. However, Vihiga Senator Godfrey Otsotsi, who moved to Linda Mwananchi faction led by Sifuna, was dropped as the third deputy party leader.
Number 1, Senator Dr. Oburu Oginga, party leader.
At the SDC, ODM party laid down tough conditions for President William Ruto and his UDA party, who intend to join forces ahead of the 2027 elections. Oburu and his party emphasized that ODM must retain control over its strongholds, a move that has been opposed by UDA leaders who are against political zoning.
That where ODM has MCAs, where ODM has MPs, where ODM has women reps, where ODM has senators and governors, that is non-negotiable. That is ODM area.
The Oburu faction also launched criticism against the ODM faction led by Sifuna.
Democracy does not mean chaos. And you cannot be a party leader, you preside over a meeting of NEC or of any of the organs, and then when you come out there, because you did not like what the majority passed, you start attacking it and saying completely opposite of what the party has passed it through its established organ.
Even so, the Oburu faction has shown its willingness to embrace Sifuna and other prodigal sons, as termed by Mombasa Governor Abdul Swamad in his speech.
I urge and I call on every single Kenyan, especially those who bear the flag and the colors of orange. Let us rally behind Daktari Oburu Odinga. I call on all those prodigal sons and daughters. This is a party that was built on principles.
One of those prodigal members who was genuinely embraced at the convention was Winnie Odinga, who had previously been part of Sifuna's camp. Winnie acknowledged Oburu Odinga as the legitimate party leader of ODM.
Leo sikuja kuchoma. Today, I just came to wish you well. This is my party, but let us embody and let us try and change and make this a party for everybody.
The ODM party under Oburu Odinga has insisted that it will continue working with President William Ruto until 2027, while Oburu Odinga is expected to lead talks between the two parties, which, judging by today's events, are unlikely to be a walk in the park. Yvonne Kimoma, KUTV.
And as that was playing out, Nairobi Senator Edwin Sifuna, who is also leader of the Linda Mwananchi faction, has vowed not to accept serving as Secretary General under the ODM party under the leadership of Oburu Odinga. Sifuna made these remarks during an alternative special delegates convention organized by the Linda Mwananchi faction at Tufungamano Hall in Nairobi. The movement has refused to recognize Oburu as the leader of ODM, claiming that the party has already been taken over by the government of the day.
Oburu tafuta SG wa. Mimi siwezi kuwa SG wa Oburu. Leo nataka niseme hapa mbele ya Mwenyezi Mungu na mbele ya taifa zima. I will not be the SG of mediocrity.
Tunaambiwa lazima tufuate hiyo mwenendo. Tutaheshimu Oburu as our elder but not our leader.
Second resolution, as ODM, we will not work with UDA.
Interesting matters within the political arena in an orange that seems to be going in different directions. Now, away from that, Deputy President Professor Kindiki has said that Kenya continues to make significant progress in transitioning towards clean and environmentally friendly energy. Speaking at an international climate conference in Nairobi, Kindiki noted that Kenya has already distinguished itself as one of the leading countries globally in the use of clean energy.
Kenya continues to position itself as one of the countries committed to addressing climate change and promoting a modern economy. At this year's climate conference, Deputy President Kithure Kindiki said Africa is at a critical stage in taking action to protect the environment and drive economic transformation.
We are presenting a circular economy investment prospectus, highlighting the opportunities in recycling waste, management, and resource-efficient industries that can create jobs while reducing environmental impact.
Kindiki stated that Kenya aims to strengthen investment in the clean energy sector, technology and innovation to accelerate economic development while safeguarding the environment. He added that people, technology and collaboration between government, the private sector and development partners are the key drivers of Kenya's economic transformation.
The public sector does not have all the resources that we require to transform the world into a better world. And that's why for us in Kenya, we are very keen on public-private partnerships.
Ministry of Investments, Trade and Industry through the Kenya Investment Authority, we have launched a green aspect of our investment deal room to accelerate conversations around how to really fast-track investment projects that are green in nature.
During the conference, leaders and environmental experts emphasized the importance of international cooperation in tackling climate change. Environment Cabinet Secretary Deborah Barasa said the country is fast-tracking the transition toward a resilient and resource-efficient economy, one that benefits communities, protects the planet, and drives economic growth for future generations.
Today's AGII forum is not just about the launch of the prospectus document. It is about affirming a new economic narrative for Kenya, one where waste is no longer an environmental liability, but a catalyst for green growth, industrial innovation, and the creation of decent jobs for the youth and women.
On his part, Kenya's Special Envoy for Climate Change, Ali Mohammed, noted that Africa has great potential to become a global hub for climate solutions if investment is increased.
Investors are rethinking risks. Industry is rethinking where future production will be anchored.
Meanwhile, Makueni Governor Mutula Kilozo Jr. signed a memorandum of understanding aimed at promoting the use of clean cooking energy in the county.
I'm standing here to say that when we are talking about clean cooking, we are protecting the mothers of this country who are the fulcrum of the families. So when I speak about 245,000 households in Makueni, I know every household, the pillar is the woman.
The conference also brought together government leaders, investors, and development stakeholders to discuss investment opportunities that can accelerate the growth of green economy in Kenya and across Africa.
The first institutional clean cooking sector pack.
Akida Kasim, KUTV.
And back to the political arena, where President Dr. William Ruto, during his ongoing development tour in Kiambu County, has sharply criticized the opposition over what he termed as divisive and agendaless politics. Speaking in Thika, the president defended his administration's track record, citing key development projects including the 900 million shilling Thika Stadium. Ruto accused the opposition leaders of fueling tribal tensions and engaging in personal attacks instead of offering viable alternatives to Kenyans. He maintained that his leadership is focused on unity and equitable development, urging voters to reject political theatrics and support leaders with tangible results.
Kuna wale wanataka kutuuzia ukabila na chuki. Sijui kama tunaelewana, my friends. Si kuna watu wamekuwa wakizunguka kwa mazishi na kwa makanisa na kwa maduka, wananitukana, wananikejeli. Mimi nimewapatia ilani. Sijui kama tunaelewana. Hawa majamaa hawatapata nafasi Kenya hii kutuletea ukabila, kutugawanya, kuendesha chuki, kuendesha mambo ya upuzi. Mimi nawaambia watu wa Kiambu, tutasimama pamoja.
Interesting matters transpiring within the world of politics, and of course we invite you to join us on KUTV_Kenya. Share your sentiments concerning the rhetoric we are seeing within the political divide. We'll be very certain to share your comments and sentiments at the end of this broadcast. Now, following an incident where hundreds of Kangaroo Girls High School students marched along the Embu Meru Highway on Sunday night after a strike over alleged corporal punishment and harassment, parents are now demanding the immediate removal of the principal and matron, linking the unrest to the new administration appointed just 3 months ago. Following the crisis meeting with the education officials, parents accused the principal of allowing physical abuse and using manual work as an abusive form of punishment.
Wazazi, kwa sababu watoto wetu walikuja nyumbani on Monday after a strike, na hiyo strike asa mimi nilikuja hapo on Monday na tukafukuzwa tena na mtoto. So tuliitwa leo kwa mkutano ili tujadili yale maneno, na wakati tulikuwa pale kwa uwanja, sisi kama wazazi tulikuwa tumehusika kwa sababu wazazi wengine walikuwa wanaambiwa warudi na watoto wao. Tulijumuika pale tukakuwa na some resolutions na tukajua kwamba shida haikuwa ni watoto wetu, shida ilikuwa ni administration.
And I can't help but wonder, particularly concerning the matters on strikes. I remember back in my days when we would come back with our parents and have that moment when your parent was looking at you as, I think I'll leave it there. You can be able to share your sentiments over as we take our first break right here on the Friday edition of the KUTV Primetime News. Our planet's future is in our hands. However, there is a threat to the brightness of this tomorrow. On EarthCheck, we share the challenges, the solutions, and the hope.
I would call this a very momentous day, a very critical day.
Every episode, every story, every step we take creates a ripple. Join me, the environmentalist Emmanuel Kutosi, on KUTV every Wednesday at 8 p.m. and be part of EarthCheck. Welcome.
We know life gets busy, but your well-being is of great importance. At KUTV's Focus on Health, we cut through the clutter, bringing you expert advice to keep you well informed for your well-being and that of your family. Every Thursday, 7:30 p.m., join me, Yvonne Kemuma, as we bring you health and wellness right at home.
Welcome back to the Friday edition of the KUTV Prime Time News. And now to a story that I've been waiting for some time. Now, tree planting has emerged as a key strategy in addressing environmental challenges while improving overall ecological health. This was evident during the tree planting exercise in Kiambu County that brought together students from the premier Kenyatta University and local residents along River Committee, as reported by yours truly. As part of efforts to plant at least 15 billion trees by 2032, students from Kenyatta University made camp in Kiambu County with the aim of contributing to the National Tree Growing Initiative. The trees were planted along River Committee to help curb soil erosion and restore the river's ecosystem.
We have noted along Committee River, farmers and through Committee area, they have actually put a significant effort to plant appropriate tree species, especially bamboo, that is recommended for restoration of this river.
Ni kuweka ni kufuta maji, kufuta mvua na tena inashika hiyo nini maji ya kuteremuka. Na hiyo ni lazima mahali kama hapa tusipopanda hiyo miti hata sisi tutapelekwa na maji.
The environmental are very key, and that's why we want our young children to grow with that attitude. I am a big proponent and study of and scholar of environmental ethics, and I tell you that's where we build. That's where we build our values at. That's where we build our skills from.
At a time when rivers are increasingly losing their natural boundaries and breaking banks, the importance of trees is becoming evident, not only in controlling such degradation, but also in promoting a balance between agriculture and sustainable environment.
The tree cover in any given country, they have a big contribution, especially when it comes to food security. And this has also been recommended by the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, and they work very much in partnership with the World Agroforestry Center, whereby we want to integrate trees in our private farms, but also continue restoring the degraded public forests.
It's true tuko miti leo. We are not atuko kadi leo. The main reason I came is because I'm in love with the nature. Planting trees. I actually had no idea of planting trees, but when I came, I was taught how to do it.
Wakati tu nilipoona pale msichana niliona kuna kucha kama hizi nikasema hata nikauliza chama. Kwani atapanda? But she was the first one kupanda. Alinama akaanza kupa. So nimewapenda sana na chochote kile mtu anachosomea. Mungu awambariki, awampatie vema.
In my lifetime, right now I've planted more than about 200 trees because naturally, even in Kenyatta University, there is there are events that usually go out to do tree planting, and also not just planting but also make sure that we grow them.
I decided to join this great team to come and plant trees in this place. And I appreciate the nature because, as you can see everywhere, there's some natural trees, and also we have come to add our planted trees. This is because it enhances the climate.
Both male and female students turned up despite the cold morning conditions, demonstrating their commitment to environmental conservation as a responsibility for future generations.
I think this is where we draw with the young generation. We are at the moment running for the ecosystem to rescue us. You see, we have this issue of flood, but who can rescue us? It's the only ecosystem that can rescue us.
So far, I have seen Kenyatta University growing over 130,000 trees. And through that, we have been able to create more awareness on how people should relate with the environment, how people should relate with our trees. And also, we have gone areas whereby we are planting trees, and at the same time, we are seeing them being cut down. So we normally advise the communities to ensure that they keep those trees and they conserve them.
Kenyatta University, through its tree planting committee, plans to sustain the initiative by sponsoring seedlings across different parts of the country as a contribution to environmental conservation efforts. Indeed, the initiative is to committee. Now, the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights has issued an urgent appeal to protest victims, warning that only 1 week remains before April the 3rd compensation deadline. Chairperson Clarice Oganga says the commission is in the final stages of developing the national preparations framework, and urged all affected individuals to come forward with supporting documents, including P3 forms, medical reports, and police OBs numbers. The shilling 2 billion compensation fund set aside for victims from 2017 to 2024 is expected to be disbursed by June this year, following a High Court ruling affirming the Kenya National Human Rights Commission's mandate.
In view of the short deadlines that we had been given, we only have up to the 3rd of April to have Kenyans register to be included in the list of victims to be compensated. So this is a reminder for you to come to Kenya National Commission's offices within various parts of this country, but we also have our various social media pages that have provided a lot of information, including a toll-free number where you can call if you want to register your claims through telephone calls.
Now, universities have been challenged to move beyond theory and focus research on real health challenges facing communities. Speaking at the Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology, Education Ministry official Archer Arena said institutions have the capacity and sufficient government funding to deliver practical solutions. He noted that banks are also ready to support turning research into production. JKUAT Council Chair Dr. James Mika Sando confirmed the university has set aside funds and secured donor support for ongoing projects. Deputy Vice Chancellor Robert Kinyua added that the research requires strong partnerships and conferences like that one to help bridge the gap between labs and the market. The two-day event brought together experts to discuss sustainable development.
My challenge to the researchers is that let us do research that translates into better livelihoods. Let us do research that impact on the people on their common areas of concern. Let us do research that is impacting on communities. We are asking that all that has been done in the laboratories be translated into production. We are asking universities to be able to have the innovations commercialized into productions to improve the lives of Kenyans.
As a university, we have some small seed money for research, but our donors also write bankable research proposals for funding. So various projects are going on that are funded by various donors. And we try as much as possible to reward those scientists that attract funds for research.
In fundraising, it is not easy, as you may have had, to conduct research at this level, because we have to rely on external funding organizations. And of course, the government also supports us in areas of research through the National Research Fund and also NACOSTI. We are able to write proposals and get some money.
Also, religious leaders in Machakos County have revived a community-based organization aimed at addressing challenges facing pastors. The group, dubbed Guza Mchungaji, seeks to cushion clergy from poverty, stigma during hardship, and promote unity. Speaking in Mavoko, Chairperson Stephen Malonza decried cases of exploitation, accusing some groups of deceiving pastors and misusing their contributions. Members also highlighted the burden pastors face during bereavement and personal struggles. Leaders, including Elizabeth Musembi and Nicodemus Muli, say the initiative will focus on the welfare, mental health, and restoring dignity within the clergy.
The money, stability.
There has been a misconception in the community that always it has been well with Mchungaji. Not forgetting that Mchungaji goes through a lot of stuff. Sometimes Mchungaji is praying for the family. Things are not working out in the family. Sometimes members, they see Mchungaji as an angel, a person who does not go through tough situations. But today I've come to emphasize about this CBO of Guza Mchungaji Welfare that is going to help Mchungaji even during those tough situations.
Coming together so that we can be able to together join our hands and be able to help one another to take care of some of these besetting needs. Privy to the information that many pastors have joined other groups like this, and they have been, they have been conned.
Wonderful. We are coming to the second break of the Friday edition of the KUTV Primetime News. We are moving from touch the anointing to touch your preacher, Guza Mchungaji. Usually we hear it the other way around. Mchungaji aliwaguza. Lakini anyway, that is how we roll. We'll be back in a moment with more.
Are you an aspiring media practitioner, a graduate, or you just want to advance your skills in television production? Then welcome to Kenyatta University, where education meets innovation. KUTV, the premier university television station in Kenya, is now offering short courses in TV studio, field technical operations, and video editing. Through these courses, you will acquire hands-on skills on camera operations, media production, lighting techniques, audiovisual editing, and sound and visual control, and how to operate key equipment in modern TV control room. Enroll today at KUTV and discover your full potential in cutting-edge TV broadcasting. Graduates of these courses will receive professional certificates. For more information, visit our offices at KUTV Studios or call us on 020-870-4252 or 020-870-4255 or SMS us on 0739-110-544. KUTV, a new experience.
Ninakukaribisha rasmi kwenye mitindo ya kipwani, kipindi kinachokuza utamaduni wa kipwani, nikikuletea mazungumzo ya moja kwa moja na wataalamu, vyakula vilivyopikwa na kukorombezwa, viungo mwake vya kipwani, ngoma zetu za asilia za Kimijikenda, bila kusahau tarabu na chakata. Yaani wanawake Uswahilini watakuwa wakinengua na kuzungusha viuno kama panga boy za trekta ndani ya mitindo ya kipwani KUTV, ukiletewa moja kwa moja kutoka Salama Bling Beach Resort kila Jumamosi saa 10 jioni na Jumapili saa 4 usiku, ukiwa nami mtamu wako zaidi ya asali. Mimi naitwa Waridi Tamu. Mpenzi mtazamaji, usipitwe na matamu.
Welcome back to the broadcast. We are now digging into matters concerning finances. Now, Kenyans are showing resilience despite ongoing economic challenges, with a new report indicating that more people are earning higher incomes compared to last year. However, rising costs of living, debt and financial pressure continue to weigh heavily on households. While the economy remains under strain, the latest financial wellness monitor by Old Mutual paints a picture of cautious optimism among working Kenyans. Kenya workforce is increasingly adapting, with 30% now earning more than they did a year ago.
And the reasons behind it for the people who say that they are financially satisfied, so they gave a rating between 7 and 10. They're saying the reasons I'm financially satisfied is because, one, I'm more comfortable with my financial situation. So I have a little bit more wiggle room or bandwidth in my finances. I'm getting better at debt management. I'm able to save. And my business is doing better because I'm able to invest into my business.
At the same time, 7 in 10 expect their financial situation to improve within the next 6 months.
Past 3 years, this report has grown into a very important pulse check on the financial wellness of Kenyans. And this year's findings build on that foundation, offering a deeper look at how Kenyans are navigating the day-to-day financial realities.
The report shows a shift in mindset from passive survival to active financial planning, with 91% of Kenyans now setting savings goals.
Poly jobber is simply a person who has a side hustle or has another source of income outside of their main job, right? You could be freelancing, you could be moonlighting. I don't know if that phrase still gets used, but it's people who have a side hustle. And this is up 6% from 2024. So 26% of working Kenyans are poly jobbers.
The resilience of Kenyans is a key takeaway from here. Kenyans are putting in the effort. I think the question is, how long can that airbag expand?
This resilience is reflected in rising entrepreneurship, with nearly half of respondents owning or co-owning businesses, while many others are turning to side hustles to boost income. But even as incomes improve, financial strain persists.
Step back to 2020, our 2024 report. Kenyans were very stressed. Kenyans were not sure about the future from a financial point of view. We've seen in this report some progress in people determining how to shape their financial wellness.
According to the report, over 40% of Kenyans are borrowing just to meet daily expenses, while more than a half are carrying equal or higher debt levels than last year. Recent data from the Central Bank of Kenya also underscores the pressure, with rising global oil prices and inflation concerns continuing to push up the cost of living.
Most of the Kenyans that seem satisfied are younger people. So it's the 20 to 29-year-olds, the ones that are really participating in the gig economies.
The study further reveals that nearly half of working Kenyans fall under the sandwich generation, supporting both children and adult dependents, adding to financial pressure. Younger Kenyans aged between 20 to 29 emerge as the most optimistic group despite economic constraints.
Overall, Kenyans feel quite positive about their well-being. They give very high scores when it comes particularly, I think, to financial well-being and relational or social well-being, as well as mental well-being. So I think quite positive to see that this is quite strong. Men do tend to have higher scores than women. Younger people tend to have higher scores than older people, and obviously the more affluent people are, the more they increase in terms of their scores around wellness.
However, warning signs remain, with more households falling behind on rent, dipping into savings, and adjusting lifestyles to cope with rising expenses.
The future looks bright. In the next 6 months, I think majority of Kenyans are very optimistic about their financial situation. About 70% are very optimistic of what their financial situation is going to look like.
Experts say while Kenyans are working harder and becoming more financially aware, long-term stability will depend on stronger financial literacy, better planning, and supportive economic policies.
Just to confirm that everyone else is in the dark. And in that regard...
Now, as Kenya heads into a new fiscal planning cycle, we begin a 6-week special series examining the budget-making process against the backdrop of the deadly unrest sparked by the 2024 finance bill, which many Kenyans felt failed to reflect public interest. In this opening chapter, we turn our focus to budget implementation and the growing burden of public debt, issues that increasingly impact livelihoods across the country. We speak to Kiprori Biegon, research lead at Budget Hub Kenya, for an informed perspective on why citizens must pay close attention not just to how budgets are crafted, but how they are executed. At a time when debts obligations continue to mount, accountability becomes critical. Citizens have a responsibility to demand transparency, question irregular spending, and hold their representatives to account, especially when they fall short in conveying the public voice.
There's also informal, there are quite a number of things that happens in finance, like digital economy. They usually try to bring all where the potential sources that they want to raise revenue. And of course, mine also is still to encourage even young people to really interrogate that document, see where they want to kind of tax and which taxes are going where and all those. Remember, some of these, for example, the housing levy, probably could have come from the manifesto. Some are linked to also the regime that we fought in, which still probably could have led to some of the challenges because they are trying to implement also there. But remember also, public are already pressed. So also they need to also to be that balance between such. And of course we usually say, even as they raise taxes, do you feel the services that the government is offering, is it better than what they were offering before? Like balancing all those. They need also need to be alive around that. But generally that has been happening around that stage. As they move towards the reading the statement, which the CS will do towards now, that's the tail end of budget approval. Which, remember, the program-based budget or the budget estimates, which now will be implemented from July 1st all the way to June 30th of that financial year. is approved before June 30th. In most cases, usually in Kenya, it's around second week of June. That's when the statement usually read. And at that point, you can't change much. You will just change a few things. But of course, in 2024, we were able to see when the finance bill was withdrawn, like there was that intensity, like when due to pressure, it was withdrawn. But of course, if I can say if young people could have probably engaged earlier enough, of course also we have these conversations, could have led to better outcomes. Of course, also government should also have a listening ear, because of course, usually say that probably they didn't listen to and they didn't observe what was happening. Public are saying here, we are pressed. Same case, and even there's a report that was released by School Economic Update, which was released by World Bank in 2025, May, it was released around May. And it showed that the disposable incomes, like generally salaries has not grown, that's stagnated. Actually, it has stagnated, but also it's going down. Like salary that you used to earn in past few years is like it's less. It's not growing. That's stagnated for most of the people. And it's also a situation that we are in. So what should government be doing? Even when you increase, it's taxed. So all those should be where is the balance? Because remember, at the end of the day, the same salaried people probably sometimes are the one also trying to. There is a lot of usually say black tax of kind of name. Like you still have to support family and all those. So all those around what happens at that period. So once the budget is approved, or once the CS reads statement, we wait until 1st July. The government start implementing the budget. It's implemented it's quarterly. So every month there should be a disbursement that happens, that goes to the ministry department agencies, it goes to counties, and in each quarter, government is required to produce or to publish a quarterly implementation report that shows what has happened. It tries to paint for this quarter, this is how much we received from the National Treasury, this is how much we use on recurrent, this is how much we use on breaking down also further that recurrent to personnel, emolument, and on goods and services. Then also development. They will be able to show. And we usually say, don't wait until the end of the year. We need to keep monitoring the budget. Like what's happening in quarter one. Control of budget releases these reports. Confirm if there's a project that suppose they're doing about that project, the status, we need to be kind of confirm. So if there are disbursements that were made, we need to be able to see the results for that. Quarter two happens, and their report is usually released in January 31st. That shows the implementation period between October, November, and December. It's released 1 month later. So it's released around that period. No, it's released 1 month, 1.5 months, 45 days later at the national level. At the county level, it's released 30 days later. So for counties, it's released on 30th or 31st January. For national government, it's released in February 15. So 45 days later, after the end of the quarter for the national government. For counties, 30 days later. So we need to keep watch of those reports, because it has good information that government is trying to provide. And that's generally on the basis. So once the cycle ends, there's an audit part, which comes later. It comes in December. So 6 months after the end of the financial year. For example, right now we expect to see an audit report from the Office of Auditor General for the financial year 2024-2025. It should have been published by end of the December 2025. And that's generally the cycle. Usually say it takes around 2.5 years, like to cover the full budget cycle. So 2.5 years you have covered one full budget cycle. So there's a lot of processes which I've mentioned. But basically it needs, like it is demanding. Sometimes you don't see things that you are advocating for coming immediately. So you keep asking. And of course, usually say that it's good when you are consistent. Keep asking and trying to task government to be able to provide what we from what you argue.
All right, it's about that time to get sporty, where President William Ruto today officially launched the construction of the 900 million Thika Stadium upgrade, marking a major milestone in Kenya sports infrastructure drive. The 10,000-seater facility will replace the dilapidated municipal ground with a modern complex featuring a standard football pitch, an 8-lane running track, changing rooms, and a VVIP pavilion. Existing amenities, including a swimming pool and a basketball court, will be preserved. The project is scheduled for completion within 9 to 10 months. The stadium is earmarked as a key training venue for AFCON 2027, which Kenya will co-host with Uganda and Tanzania. Local traders have been assured their businesses will not be disrupted during the construction. Seven minutes to the top of the hour on this 27th day of the month of March. I do hope you have been informed in every matter that is touching on various aspects right here on KUTV. We do appreciate your viewing and choosing KU to be your informer tonight. From me, Emmanuel Kutosi, and the whole team involved in the production of tonight's broadcast, it's a big bravo to them and a thank you to you for keeping it KUTV. My name is Emmanuel Kutosi, and on the sign language interpretation, we've been sailing in the safe hands of Mutava Mwongeli. Good night, sweet dreams, enjoy your night.
This program is rated PG. Content carried in here may be watched by everyone. However, parental guidance is advised.
King of Kings.